Okay, so once the lead is created from web form, I immediately got a call from this number 417892. So let's say I answer it. So it says REsimpli lead connect, and then it says, hey, this is a new lead from REsimpli. You just press 1 and it immediately starts calling the lead within a second. So you can be instantly connected with a lead. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Just a little background about myself. My name is Sharad. I'm the founder and CEO of REsimpli. Been working on this 3.0 update for about 4 to 6 months now. Initially, we had planned to kind of release it at a few different updates, dialer 1 update, lead status change, another update. But then we decided with everything that we have going on, it just made sense to release them all at the same time. I was just making a list of everything that I need to cover, and there's a lot. So we may do another call tomorrow if we're not able to get through everything, but I want to make sure I cover everything so you guys are prepared when we go live on Saturday. Our iOS app is already approved. It's not available for update right now, but that was a big question mark that we had to have our app be approved by iOS and Android for us to go live. iOS is already approved. Android should get approved. Android doesn't take very long, so we don't anticipate any issue. So we should be going live on Saturday. We'll send an email out tomorrow. The downtime for the system will be probably 12 midnight EST to 5 a.m. EST. So when you log in on Saturday morning, you should see a new update in your account. So I'm going to start with the biggest change you guys are going to see. This is what the leads page is going to look like when you log into REsimpli on Saturday. First thing you'll notice is the new leads. There's going to be a new column for new leads. So all the new leads that come into your pipeline moving forward starting Saturday is going to go into new leads column. And if there are no new leads that you have that you're working on, that column will automatically collapse, meaning that you have no new leads that you're working on. And then these 4 columns, no contact made, appointments set, and due diligence is a new column that we're adding, but these are all customizable. So you can customize these, but default out of the gate, these are the names that you're going to see for these columns: no contact made, appointment set, and due diligence. But you can go ahead and you can change it to something else. You can change the color of that you see up on header, or you can collapse the column if this is something you're not going to be using in your business. But you can go ahead if you want to change it in your business. Instead of contact made, you want to call it, trying to contact. Then you can go ahead and change that. It's going to change it everywhere in the system that whatever you're using, like in the global task, in the list stacking status, everywhere in the system, it's going to update it to this. And if you have a new lead come into the pipeline, it will automatically get added into new leads and the column will expand. So this is what it will look like. So if I go ahead, test lead and lead source, direct mail, probate list, I'm going to put a random address. Yep. All right. So if I do this, it automatically goes into new lead status, and then the column will expand. So as I'm working on it, if I move it to, let's say, no contact made, then the column will automatically collapse. And with this, as you are working on any new leads, we will keep track of your time to first touch for every single team member on the leads that they're assigned on, to make sure you're able to keep track of how long does it take from the time new lead is created to the time you make the first touch. So you'll see additional menu option will be added called new lead. So you can keep track of how many new leads you have and what's your average time to first touch for lead. And it will be updated for every single team member, will be different depending on how many leads that they're working on. And then as you're moving leads from one stage to another, like now appointment set doesn't have a trigger of if you want to set up an appointment because it's not based on the name of the status, then we have another option that it's based on. And if you guys have any questions, either you want to unmute yourself and ask those questions, or I can just go at the end and then take all the questions. So either way is fine. All right. And then you notice that there's no longer a column called assigned to buyer. We actually have a whole separate pipeline called wholesale pipeline. So you can manage your disposition side of the business completely separately. So instead of just having everything in one column called assigned to buyer, you can manage it completely separate in a separate disposition pipeline. And the way it will work is, so let's say if I'm moving a property from offer made to under contract, and I'm going to put some amount. So depending on what the exit is for that specific property, it'll either go to wholesale pipeline or it will not. So you have these exits. So if you have wholesale assignment contract, then it will go to wholesale pipeline, or if you select wholesale double close, then I'll go to wholesale pipeline. And I'll go into contingency in a little bit, but let's say if I select, this is a contract that I'm going to be double closing on. So I go ahead and select this. So you'll see this, congratulations. And then property 1152 Summer Street. If I go into wholesale pipeline, I'll see it show up on my new contract. So, let's say I decide after a couple of days that, instead of wholesaling double close, I'm actually gonna, keep it as a rental property. So you could go ahead and change it, and you'll get a message that if you move the exit type from wholesale double close to rental, the property will be removed from wholesale pipeline, but will remain in under contract in lead. So if you do that, you go back to wholesale pipeline, the property is no longer there because you're not wholesaling it. But if you go back to your leads, the property is still there in your leads. So a really easy way to manage your wholesale pipeline, just based on the exit type that you have. And with this, let me go back. All right. And another thing that you will be able to track for your properties on acquisition and disposition is, so if I move it back to under contract, and I'm going to put 250,000. Now you'll have this question of, are there any contingencies in this contract? So by default will be no, but if you want to say yes, then you'll have these options of all the contingencies that you can manage within the system. So let's say if you have a contingency of inspection, and then you can choose a date. So this is due 28th. Then I have another contingency of, let's say, insurance that's due in a couple of weeks, and I can go ahead and update it. So once I do that, and I go back onto my dashboard, you will see this number gets updated. So now as I come into my dashboard, I can keep track of all the contingencies that I have on the buy side contract and also on the sell side contract. So I can see how many contingencies are coming up. It'll keep track of, if they're due after 7 days, the ones that are due in next 7 days, or ones that are already past due. So I can just click right here. It'll pull up list of all the contingencies that I have that are due in next 7 days. Or if I want to just look at all the contingencies, regardless of, whether it's buy side, sell side, when they're due, then you can also do that. Or I can just look at everything that's past due, everything that's coming up in next 7 days. And then I can just go ahead and say, all right, if I've already done an inspection for the property, I can just go ahead and click mark completed, and it'll get taken off the contingency list that I have, and it'll also get removed from here. So you don't have that contingency that you're working on anymore. But if there's any additional contingency that you're working on the contract, you want to add additional contingency, you can come right here. You'll notice a new section that's going to show up only if the property is under contract, called contingencies. And if you want to add additional one, you can just select this right here. All right, so yeah, if I want to add additional contingency right here, if there's something else that comes up, let's say, a flood contingency, that I can just go ahead and easily select it right here and add it, and it just gets added to that specific property, and it also gets added to my my dashboard also, so I can keep track of that. And the same thing will happen on the wholesale pipeline. So as you move a property to accepted offer, only then the question of contingency will come up. So if I move to accepted offer, and then as you're moving property from one station to another thing that we'll be doing is keeping track of your KPI. So you can see, let me just exit out of it. So if you have a property new contract, and then let's say you start marketing to buyers, then we'll ask you, okay, when did you start marketing to buyers? So you can start keeping track of some of your KPIs. If you're doing a whole bunch of dispositions, so you can kind of start seeing from the time you get a contract, how long does it take for your team to start marketing. So let's say, and then you can put in the price. Let's say if I'm asking 275,000 for this, and then if you move it to showing to buyers, then I'll ask, okay, when did you start showing it to buyers? So I put today's date, evaluating offers. So if you get offers, you move it to, you have offers on the properties, and you're evaluating offers, then you can kind of get an idea of, okay, how much are the different offers on the property. So you can get a sense of how much is the lowest offer and highest offer on the property. And then once you move it to accepted offer, let's say I'm going to accept the 300,000, and then it'll ask, okay, are there any contingencies in this contract? So same thing. If there's, let's say, an inspection appraisal contingency that's due in, let's say, a week, and then there's another one for inspection that the buyer is asking, and that's due in like a couple of days, I can go ahead and do that. I'll update my dashboard based on those contingencies. So I'll start seeing the ones that are past due, on the disposition side, the ones that are going to be due in next 7 days, or ones that are due after 7 days. And I can again click here and see which ones my team needs to work on. And then you'll easily be able to see which ones are sell side contingencies and which ones are buy side contingency. And also, if you go into the property, it'll show you the list of all the contingencies that you have. It's this one right here, I think, or the next one maybe. I don't know which property I added for, but yeah, you'll be able to see which contingencies do you have for each of the properties that you're adding. So you can keep tracking both the buy side and sell side contingencies for all the properties that you have. So any questions on this before I kind of move ahead and have other?
Yes, I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So I have, I guess, 2 different kind of layers. I do residential as well as commercial.
Right.
Is there a way to, like, I guess in the lead flow or whatever, like whoever's working on commercial deals, they only see the commercial deals and vice versa?
Yeah, you can do that based on the campaign that you set up. So all you need to do is set up 2 separate campaigns, basically 2 separate phone numbers, and then just give the access to the commercial campaign to the person that's working commercial. So when they log in, they'll only see their own leads. They will not see the other person's lead. Okay.
Gotcha. So when they're on this page right here, it'll only show them basically the commercial leads that they're doing commercial and vice versa.
Exactly. And they will only get notified for the commercial deals leads. Okay.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. Roberto has a question. So we need to change Zaps. I will actually, Tazor, if you can write that question. I don't think so, but I'll just confirm and let you guys know. And then
just want to make sure when the new leads come in, when 3.0 comes out, it's automatic. Is it gonna still go to the new lead section, or am I gonna have to like edit my Zap?
No, it will go to the new lead section, but I'll just confirm with my developer on the Zap, but it should automatically start going to the new lead, because now no contact made or contact made are like no longer, like these are just default templates that we're providing you. Those are not set templates. Like the only one that's set is new leads, offer made, and under contract.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it didn't create a Zap error. That was all.
Sure. Yep. No, I'll check with my developer. Tazor, if you can write that question. And
I have one other question.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And then KB has a question. Can we add additional columns or remove? We don't have that option right now to add or remove. The main thing we wanted to do was, the reason why we only have 7 is we want to make sure the user experience was where even if you had all the columns expanded, they fit on one screen. Because I mean, we use some other project management tools that let us add like as many columns as we want. And I can tell you from experience, like I personally end up like spending 99% of my time on the page that I see. So we wanted to make sure that, these 7 columns were the ones that all fit on one screen. I'm using a 24-inch monitor, but even on a 13-inch monitor, you'll still see all the columns that you have. But later on, depending on the feedback, we may add the option to add or remove additional columns as we see fit. Michael has a question. Are we going to be able to filter active leads by city, zip, or county or state? Not right now. Again, you can do that in list tracking, but not in leads right now. But that's something we'll be adding additional filter options. Thank you, Isaiah. I appreciate it. Michael, if you want to clarify a question regarding the TC side, is there a way to make sure that we have the appropriate documents on the file for a transaction, executive contract, foundation? So if you want to unmute yourself and make sure, I want to make sure I understand that question. And let me know.
Yeah, sure thing, Sharad. So like in regards to our TC handling, we want to make sure everything's ready for title. And let's say even if we're retailing a flip, we want to make sure that our TC side, or we have all our documents in order on file, so we're not searching for them at last minute, holding up the closing process essentially.
Yeah. So what you would, I can tell you what I do for my business is every document that we have, we upload every single document in the file section, like, pictures, purchase agreements, sales side agreement, everything for us has to end up in files. So we're not looking at, so for example, we have a property under contract that we're closing on next week or week after. My contractor went out, looked at the pictures, sent those pictures through WhatsApp to my project manager, and my project manager uploaded everything in the system because we don't have our contractors in the system. So, they're just sending through WhatsApp, but at the end of the day, everything has to be in the files for every single property for us, like every single property related document. Like, so we're not using Dropbox, Google Drive, nothing. Like for us, every single document ends up here. So that's what I would do. You could create different folders, buy side, sell side. So even if you close on a property, and you want to refer to some document like 2 years, 3 years down the road, everything is going to be organized. You just search for the property address, go in the file section, everything is already going to be there. KB, we cannot upload files to the web form link yet. A couple of people asked for it, and that's something we're looking into, and it'll probably come with one of our future updates. Eddie, will we be able to download pictures sent through text, and will there be easier way to get them to files? I already have a ticket for my developers where if you get a picture through text or MMS, that it automatically creates a folder and adds the pictures in that folder. It's going to be coming out soon. We just didn't get a chance to make it to 3.0, but that will be coming out, where if you get pictures through text messages from the sellers, instead of you having to download and uploading it back again, it will automatically create a folder and get added in that folder. So that's going to be coming out in a future update. Yahavi has a question: will the new update can we import our own lead thread? Not yet. That's something that's going to be coming out in Q2. We're working on that already. That's the biggest question we get from new companies that are switching over, that they want the ability to import their own leads. We're looking into it. We have to look into make sure that once the data gets uploaded, the campaign number, notes, and everything ties in correctly. So we're looking into that. Should be coming out with a future update that we have coming out. Well, any other questions on this, guys, before I move forward? If you have anything, you can feel free to unmute and ask that question. So next thing I want to show is with some of the call features, additional call features that we have coming up. So one feature that's going to be coming up is, a lot of you guys had asked for, was when you are making a call now, once the call is answered, you'll see a new button pop up. Yeah, when you want immediately the number to go to voicemail, it's going to go through all the 30 seconds of ringing. All right. So as soon as call gets answered by either voicemail or somebody picks up, you're going to see this new button pop up. It's going to be only available on Pro and Enterprise plan. So if you're on Basic, I'd recommend upgrading if that's a feature that you really want to use. You can just click here, add call, and then all the users that you have in your account, you can just easily, click on their name and then just start dialing them, or you can just go to keypad and enter the number and start dialing from there. But if you want to do that, it just automatically puts the other number on hold, the seller that you have on hold, and then it'll call the number that you added. And once the call is connected, then you can just click on merge call. It'll merge the calls, and then you can see all the 3 participants that you have on the call. So it doesn't just yet transfer the call over. It basically creates a group call. The transfer call was getting a little bit complicated, but you can create a group call. And then let's say if you finished a conversation with a seller, you can just drop that person and then continue the call with other people, or you can just go ahead and end the call for everyone. So you can start doing group calls on outbound calls now. And then you can do that on both the basic dialer and also on the dialer that I have, the advanced dialer in the system. So it's going to be available with the update that we go live with on Saturday. Any questions on this that I can answer before I move forward?
So just to be clear, just to be clear, there's no way for example, I'm the one making the call and I want to connect the seller to our acquisition. There's no way for me to leave the call, right?
Not right now. Just there was some couple of moving pieces, and we don't want to push it and try to
Okay.
have it cause some other issues, but that's going to be coming out soon, where you will be able to drop off the call if once your acquisition person is connected with the seller.
Okay. So that's just on this perspective of the lead manager.
Correct. Yes. So in that case, if let's say lead manager is making the call and the lead manager connects the seller with the acquisition person, the lead manager will be able to drop off the call. Another update that's going to be coming out in a month or so is you will be able to transfer incoming calls. Also, right now the option is only available on outbound calls, but in the future you'll also be able to do call transfers on incoming calls also. Yeah, Ahmed, you had a question?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. On the part of the voicemail, so right now it will be bypassing voicemails, or I'm sorry.
No, it won't bypass voicemail. Like as soon as it goes into either the call is answered or it goes into voicemail, then you see an option of add call. So if you know if it goes into voicemail, then you're not going to add a call. But let's say if somebody picks up the call, then you can click on add call, add a team member, and then just connect the call at that point. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Hey, Jason. So you said you hired somebody from Fiverr to manually upload the leads for you. I mean, we can do it if you have an Excel file. We can do it for you, but depending on how many leads you have, and then if you just want to have somebody upload it, totally fine. But if you send us the Excel file, then we can upload it for you.
What about on the call feature where you add a third person? Are we able to whisper, like if we want to coach, like an acquisition?
No, that's going to be coming out. So if you looked at our pricing email that we sent out, that's already in the works. That's going to be coming out in a future update, where you will be able to whisper to your team member. You'll be able to listen into calls without other person knowing. And then the other feature will be where you'll be able to barge in on any calls. So that's going to be coming out in a near future with some of the other calling features that we have.
Got it.
Okay, cool. All right. One other really, really cool feature that I want to show you, I think that personally I'm super excited about, is the three-way calling. And then, when we go live with live transfer, just like basically the person that's making a call, taking them off the call, that's only available in Pro and Enterprise. And then this feature that I'm showing you, it's only available in Enterprise plan. So if this is something that you guys think will add value to your business, I would definitely look into this. I think it's an awesome feature, especially if you're doing online leads, PPC leads, SEO leads, so any leads that are coming through your website, or like, the leads that you really need to get in touch with quickly. So we call it speed to lead, but basically what it does is, let's say I'm going to go ahead and select this, and I'm going to say, all right, any new leads that are created from REsimpli website, any leads that are created, so you can choose which triggers you want to have enabled, any new leads that are created from, let's say, Zapier or Carrot website, or any new leads that come from web form. So you are selecting, I have owner and acquisition manager on this campaign. So you are selecting for this specific campaign. As soon as a lead is created from either REsimpli website or through your integration through Zapier or Carrot, or if you create a lead from web form, who on your team do you want to immediately get a call? So I can choose, let's say, I want the owner to get a call in that situation. And then whatever the profile number owner has in their account, we will call that number immediately. So this is how it will work. So let's say if I go in, I'm going to open the web form, copy, go back. So this is my web form. So let's say, and it's going to work the same way if you have a lead that gets pushed through Zapier, REsimpli website, or a Carrot website. So I'm going to do test lead. I'm going to put seller number. I'm going to put this. Create new lead. And I'm going to select. So you want to select the lead source and campaign that you have it enabled for. So I'm going to go ahead and select Google PPC. Google PPC. Select a random address. All right. Okay. So once I do that, let me just take my cell phone off airplane mode. Perfect. All right. So once I do this, it will. Okay. So once the lead is created from web form, I immediately got a call from this number. Where did it go? So this 417892. So let's say I answer it. So it says REsimpli lead connect. And then it says, hey, this is a new lead from REsimpli. You just press 1 and it immediately starts calling the lead within like a second. So you can be instantly connected with a lead, and it's going to create a new lead also. And it will also send me a text message. So also send me a text message. So now it's dialing the lead, and then it gives you like 5 seconds for you to review the text message. So as soon as the lead was created, it sent me a text message on my phone, or everybody that I selected, that new lead, this is the lead name, this is the property address, and this is what the lead source was. So, you know, like in this case, test lead 5364 Fredericksburg Road, and it came from my Google AdWords PPC, and it came from primary market. So I know I have this information. It's dialing the lead, and it dials the lead from the number, the exact campaign number that I have. Right, so it went into voicemail. So it dials the number. It dials the lead from, if they're on your website and they see the number, it's dialing them from exactly that phone number. And when you get a text message from us, you'll get it from the campaign number. And when you get a call, you'll get it from the campaign number. So, you know, you might, if I have it enabled for this, so I would want to make sure in my team, I have it enabled, save this phone number as pickup, you know, instant lead or speed to lead. So this way I know I really need to get to this phone number. So again, if you guys are doing any PPC online leads where you really need to get in touch with leads as quickly as possible, really, really awesome feature that we're adding that I'm super, super excited about. So again, the goal with this would be, I mean, there's some information right here. The goal with this would be, it's going to connect you with the lead in like 45 to 60 seconds. So imagine somebody's filling out a form on your website on PPC or SEO. Before they go onto any other website, they immediately have a call from you, a live call from you, and it's going to download. There's no human interaction in between. You just pick up, you say you want to be connected, press 1, and then I'll give you like 5 seconds to review the text message. While you're reviewing the text message, it's already dialing out the lead that you have, so you can be in touch with the lead immediately. Cool. All right, any questions on this? Yeah, Roberto, for now on the group call, it's not available on inbound call. It's only available on outbound. Inbound should be coming out hopefully by the end of next month. We just wanted to go live with this, make sure that this was stable, like we were covering all the use cases. So once we do that, then we'll add the exact same thing on the inbound.
Now those calls that are coming in on the PPC, they have to have an actual phone or a different number.
They have to have a US phone number. So it will only dial out the phone numbers that you have in the profile. So let's say if I go into a different campaign, let's say if I go into paper lead, need to sell my house fast, I select this. So it's telling me, okay, for this specific campaign, I have an acquisition manager, disposition manager, and owner. So let's say if I'm the owner, I don't want to get the calls anytime a new lead is created, but I want my acquisition manager to get the call. It's going to call on their profile number, whatever phone number they've saved in their profile when they create an account with it. That's the phone number it's going to dial out. And then as soon as they answer the call, it will just tell them, hey, this is REsimpli instant lead connect or speed to lead. Do you want to be connected with the lead? You press 1 and then it'll dial out. It's not, so let's say if your phone is switched off, so instead of going into voicemail, it will ring the other people. So if you have 5 acquisition managers on this specific lead, it's going to call every single acquisition manager. Whoever picks up the call and confirms they want to be connected, that person will be connected to the lead. All the other calls will get disconnected. Okay.
So Sharad, so that's considered an outbound call. So the lead manager that gets that speed to lead can forward it.
It's coming on your cell phone. So you're answering it on your cell phone, not in the system, because the lead is not yet created. I mean, it's like as soon as the lead is created, that's when the call is being forwarded. So it's not that the lead is created and then we're calling it. It's like instantly happens. Like the second the lead is created, you get a text message and an outbound call is made.
So it doesn't ring in the actual CRM.
No, it won't ring in the actual CRM because it's not. You're not getting a call from the lead.
Right.
And
what's the time delay on the lead entering the system from the time of Zap or Carrot or REsimpli goes in and is that
I mean, like when
maybe
I
a
just
better
did,
option to just wait 2 minutes and have everything done in the system so we can get that call forwarding done and all that stuff?
yeah, I mean, we'll look into it in a future update where you will be able to answer it within the system. But, for now, it's meant for it to immediately call, like the second, basically, like when I created a lead on the web form, it like immediately started calling my cell phone. And then I was able to answer that call. And then I had a text on my cell phone telling me, the lead information. And then it started calling out the lead. So yeah, the purpose right now is to like
Okay.
immediately connect you with the lead. I understand like a lot of us have team that's based overseas. So we'll definitely have the option where you'll be able to answer it within the system. So maybe we'll have an option where you can like delay it by maybe a minute or so. So it creates a lead and then you get an inbound call. And then the challenge is with that, just technically speaking, you're not getting an inbound call, like the system, like we are calling, it's like it's an automated call generated from REsimpli that gets forwarded to you guys, and then somebody picks up, it makes an automated call to the lead. So that's a bit of a technical challenge that we have to look into, and we have to talk to a provider on like how do we make it so initial call comes in as incoming, then it automatically makes an outbound call. But yeah, for now you'll be able to have it forwarded to any US phone number that you have in for any team member. John, do you want to make sure unmute and ask that question? Is there a way to do a general voicemail to send out like a voicemail template for text while I dial? I'm not sure I understand the question. So if you want to unmute and
Yeah,
ask
sure.
that question.
Actually, when I was like dialing for the acquisition side, most of the time I'm doing like a voicemail. Is there like a way that I could like record a voicemail generally, like a template voicemail where I just click and send it out when it comes to voicemail, the sellers?
You will be able to not on the lead part of it, but you will be able to do that. I'll go over in the dialer that we have coming out. You'll be able to do that, where you will be able to
Yeah.
drop voicemail, like if somebody doesn't pick up. So more for like prospecting purposes, you will be able to do that.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you, Gail, Amber, John. Yeah, I'm excited about this feature. And then, yeah, I mean, so if you look right here, the lead that I added, it automatically got added and like the call was initiated right away. Sergio, I'm not sure, like if you want to unmute and ask, does this also integrate with CallRail? So it'll forward to whatever phone number that you have, like whatever phone number you've added, if that's your question, like whatever phone number you've added in profile for that user. If you have a CallRail number, you have a Google Voice number, you have their cell phone number, that's where it's going to forward that call to. So it doesn't matter whether it's a VoIP number, mobile or landline number, it will forward to that number on, and all the other numbers that you have, all the other people that you have in your team.
Okay, great. Yeah, that was my question. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. All right, cool.
Right now,
yeah.
Sharad, I had a question. Right now,
Go ahead.
on a campaign or on a marketing channel, are you able to add multiple numbers for that one campaign?
Not for that one campaign. So each campaign would be its own marketing, would be its own phone number for KPI tracking purposes. Because if you had multiple campaigns, multiple phone numbers added to the same campaign, it gets a little bit complicated on how, to track all your KPIs.
Yeah, because the issue that what I'm having is when my acquisition people call, they we're calling with the same number, so I'm afraid if it's going to get spammed, or we want to try them again, but with a different number.
You can call from a different number. So let's say in this case, the lead is created direct mail probate list. And let's say if I want to call this number, I don't have to call from the number. I can just click right here, change, and then change to a different phone number. So without changing the campaign where the lead came from, you can change the phone number that you're calling from, and it will not affect your KPIs. So what some other teams do is, like once the lead comes in, let's say from direct mail probate list, then for each team member, they have a separate phone number that they've added. Then the team member, when making a call, will make from that specific phone number, which will directly route to their personal cell phone instead of like going through the entire call flow again. Okay, and then you can set it up where, like for example, if this is the number that I want to call from, then you can do, mark this as my existing default number to call for all existing leads. If I'm calling all the leads, that I'm calling, I just, I can just set it up so it always calls from this outgoing phone number.
Okay, and then whenever an incoming lead comes, it's only going to ring to whoever's assigned to that lead.
Correct. If
Okay.
they call back that number, depending on how your call flow is set up.
Gotcha.
And mostly what teams would do is they would have the individual that they have on their team that's making the call. The call flow would forward it to just them and not to anybody else. So it just directly goes to them.
Perfect.
Cool. All right. All right, guys. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll keep moving forward. And Tazor, just keep an eye on if there's any comments on Facebook also. So I'll make sure I don't skip on those. Cool. And a couple of other things that you will be able to do with this update is you'll be able to manage multiple offers that you have with the seller. So if you're going back and forth on a property that you have, you made an initial offer, the seller came back with something, you made secondary offer and whatnot, you will be able to manage that. So you're going to see this option called offer made, manage next to offer made. So once you click on that, it's going to pop up all the offers that you have. So let's say in this case, you made an initial offer of 250,000. When you made that offer, what the offer was, let's say if the seller comes back with like today, and they came back verbally, let's say they want 300,000, for example. So you add that offer, it's going to tell you, all right, from the time you made an offer to the time seller came back, it took 50 days, and they came back with the verbal offer of 300,000, and then there's a difference of 50,000 from what you offered versus what you came back. What the seller came back with, let's say, you go back, make another offer, same day, and then you're making, let's say, a written offer of 275,000. You do that, it's going to update, it's going to add right here. It's going to say, all right, you made another offer same day. From the time seller came back, you made an offer on the same day, you made a written offer of 275, and you are still off by 25. So you can just keep adding all the offers that you have for that you are making, and then the seller is coming back with. So you can keep track of all of those offers. And then once it gets accepted, then, of course, the difference will go to zero, but you can start managing all the different offers that you have for any property that you have. So let's say if you end up moving this to the seller says, I need a couple of months to think about it, you can move it to warm lead, just have an automated follow-up be going on in the background. And then once you move it to an active lead, you can just go in before, the seller say, hey, I'm interested. You can just pop up right here and see what your last offer was, and then just kind of continue based on that. You can say, hey, the last time we offered you 275, does that still work, or has anything changed? Depending on the condition of the property, then you'll have all the information for the offers that you made on every single property that you have. So any questions on this before, again, I keep moving forward? All right. If you have any questions, just unmute yourself. I'll keep checking the chat also. All right. All right. Other thing would be, so now we don't have the appointment set column can be customized. So when you move a property to appointment set, if you keep it at appointment set, it's not going to ask you, hey, do you have an appointment that you went on? But if you still want to keep track of all your appointments, you can just go right here. When you go into task and appointments and you click on add appointment, now you'll see this additional option of appointment type. By default, it will be other. So if you don't want to do anything, if you don't want to have an additional click, you can just leave it as other. It doesn't do anything. You can just keep doing what you're doing. But let's say if I want to keep track of that, I could say seller appointment over the phone and put some description. I can select seller appointment, and then I can select phone appointment. And I can set a date and time of whenever the appointment is. Let's say it's on from 12 to 12:15. I can go ahead and do that. Once I've done that, any appointment that's already in the past, it's going to show up right here. So this is an appointment that I set up in the past. It shows up right here. It said this is an unresolved appointment, meaning you have not updated an outcome for this. So I can click right here, and it'll ask me here, you had this appointment. Did you keep it? Did you not keep it? If you don't want to input anything, you can just do dismiss all, and then any appointment that you have will just get out of your view. But if you want to see everything for that specific property, for that specific property or the appointment, you can see how many in-person appointments you've had for this property, how many of those were kept, how many of those were not kept, how many of those you did not answer. Same thing, how many phone appointments you've had with this specific particular seller, how many of those you were kept, not capped, or you have not answered. Same thing on the drive-by appointments. Also, if the seller said, hey, just go drive by the property, so you can keep track of whether somebody from your team actually drove by the property or not. And this is where you'll see all the outcomes of every single property. So let's say if you have this one, and if this was not kept, you can update it, and we'll update it right here in the system, so you can keep track of every single property that you have, what's going on with all the appointments. And then you can go ahead, and if you want to see all the cumulative stats, you can go into in the data section. You're going to see additional option for seller appointment KPIs. So you can see for every team member for your entire company, how many total appointments you've set, how many of those have been kept, how many have those not kept, and no answer. Just keep in mind, these are only seller appointments. So if you do not select seller, if you select something other than seller appointment, it will not show up here. This is only if you select seller appointment. And then you can also see by every single team member. You can see, all the team members that you have, how every single team member is doing in terms of when it comes to their appointment. So, you can go ahead and kind of, hold them a little bit more accountable on, hey, Wonder Woman had 10 appointments, didn't keep any, what's going on. So you can just, have a little bit more accountability for every team member when it comes to appointments also. Any questions on this? Javi, yes, there is going to be a major update coming to mobile app. You will have the buyer section also added, and there's a couple of other updates that are coming, but the biggest one is that you'll have buyers section coming in. Jason, do you want to explain your question template for appointment, just so that I make sure I understand that?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so for like a phone appointment, if you're doing, virtual and it's over
Right.
the phone, so just
Right.
like a quick thing where it's, where you can set it to be a seller appointment and then it automatically selects phone appointment. It's not that big of a deal, but just question.
Yeah, I mean, if you do that, if you select a seller appointment, it will default to like it won't select anything by default. It'll just, ask you to make a selection there.
Yeah, it was just a question.
Yeah, cool. All right. And Sergio, can you like you asking, is there a link that we can send a seller similar to Calendly? Not right now. Yeah, I mean, when you're booking an appointment, it will check your availability. So if I try to book something on Saturday, depending on what I've set my availability as, only pull that, but it doesn't let you currently send it to the seller, so they can, similar to Calendly, that they can book it on there. Usually, like we have the team members that are booking the appointment.
Okay, so if we're booking an appointment here, will it send the seller a reminder saying, hey, you have an appointment with Sergio, and it send them like a text message or anything? Not necessarily.
Yeah, so you can do that right here. If you go into
Okay.
seller reminders, and then you can do like both SMS and email. So if you want to have it sent out like 2 hours or sometime before the appointment is due, so you can select that, and it'll send out an appointment text or email or both.
Oh, sweet. Okay, nice. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
Sherrod, I just had a really quick question. I guess this is for I guess I'm just trying to figure out how you might do it. If you're just doing like follow-up calls, would you put that as a task or an appointment?
We put it as task. That's what we do, because we have like my lead manager, she's calling about 50 leads a day. So then it shows up, everything shows up right here. And then it's like, I mean, the appointment would show up right here also, but then we don't want to block calendar if we book it as appointment, because that's like, usually it's like 1 to 2 minutes call that we're making. So we book it as a task. And most of those are already like part of a drip campaign. So we don't even have to set them up unless it's somebody that we're negotiating with, or somebody that is actively looking to sell like in next couple of weeks or so.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool. Okay. And yes, this call is being recorded. We will send out a link to this recording later today or tomorrow. James had the question, where do we find REsimpli phone app? Yeah, if you go to App Store on Apple or Google, if you just search for REsimpli, then it'll pop up and then you should be able to download it. Andrea has a question, will you be able to sign contracts now in the mobile app? Not right now. Again, like with contracts, just because of the screen size, we decided to just hold off on that. Just it's not the same user experience when you're doing it on a small screen, and it just like messes up the whole UI. So we decided not to do it right now, but something that we'll look into in the future update. All right. Any other questions on this, guys, before I continue moving forward? All right. So I want to go into some updates that are going to be coming in. This was actually the most requested feature that we had. Looking at all the feedback that we got was for someone for our users to be able to manage their vendors, like your escrow company, your ability to call, text your contractors, your bank and whatnot. So with this update, you will be able to do that. When you go into contacts, you'll see buyers and vendors. So any contractors that you have, they will automatically be merged into vendors section. And then you can go ahead and click add vendor. This is what it's going to look like. Add their company name. The vendor display name is for accounting purposes. This way, if you have, let's say, ABC title company and you have multiple contact people, then you want to put, if you're doing business with ABC title, then you want to put vendor display name as ABC title. You can put phone numbers, emails, birthdays, anniversary, their website, their address, and then what vendor type they are. So you can add all these vendor types in your system. If there's anything missing, let us know. We'll make sure we get that added. But these are all the vendors that you can add. So you can basically manage your entire database, entire list of contacts that you have, leads, buyers, and your vendors all within the system. So you can go ahead and select right here. Then, if you are going to be, this is somebody that you're going to be making payments to, make sure you get their EIN social security number, and then, toggle this, select this as yes, that you're going to be, sending them a 1099 at the end of the year. So we'll have an update later on this year where we'll create 1099s for you that you can send out to your team or send out to your vendors. And then right here, you can put the areas that that person is doing business in. So you can do, let's say I'm doing Lake County. So let's say if I'm in Lake County, I can do that. So I can add all the areas that this person is doing business in. I can click on, add, and then this is what it will look like. So once I've added a vendor, so this is what the vendor page is going to look like, vendor name, and you can add additional tags that you have. Let's say, if I want to do title company, I can add those tags, and then you can filter based on those tags also. Company name, vendor type, and then personal information that you have for that specific vendor, their phone number, their birthday, email, their address, and you can click right here on their website address. So it opens up the website and what areas that they do business in. So if you want to add additional areas that they're doing business in, you can add that and keep track of that. And if you have multiple people at the same company, vendor company that you're doing business with, you can click on add more contact and go ahead and add additional contacts that you have for the vendor. So this way you have multiple vendors that you can, multiple contacts at the vendor company that you have that you can add them in. And once you've done that, just like you can do on leads right now. So let's say if I go ahead into any property that I have, I can click right here and I can, if I want to select a vendor, I can, let me see if I have, yep. So I can select a name, let's say, Bank of REsimpli, and I can just, if I have their email address, I can update the email address. Otherwise, I can go ahead and do this. And it's going to add on my list of vendors also. And I can click on this name. It'll take me to that specific vendor and it'll show me all the deals that I've done with that vendor. I can click back, take me to the property, and I want to see other vendors, who's the title company, who is the lender on this property, who's doing inspection, which contractor is going to work on it. So you can add all of them and just keep a list of them. And then I can click right here, see all the other deals that I've done with this person. I can now add tasks for buyers and vendors. I can also add files just like I can do for my buyers right now. I can also do that for vendors. And then I also have a financial section. So this merges your contractors and then the vendors that you have for accounting purposes. So you can just go ahead and click on financial. It'll show you all the actual financial transaction that you've had with that specific vendor. Same thing when you go into the buyers, you have now ability to add tasks for buyers also. That's something a lot of you guys were asking for. So this is going to be live with 3.0, and also we'll be adding in a future update, we'll be adding drip campaign option for buyers and vendors also. So you can put your buyers and vendors on drip campaign. Any questions on this? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, can you separate buyers from agents? Just
Yes. So when you are uploading it, when you're uploading a list of buyers or you're adding it manually, it'll ask you the contact type if it's buyer or agent.
okay.
Okay. So this way you can kind of, and then you can filter based on this. All right. And John, you had a question. Can we add vendors in the contact field to lead so my TC can have recorded calls in 5? Yeah. So
you answered it.
Yeah. So yeah, you can also call your vendors now, and you'll have separate dedicated number for vendors. So if you want to call this vendor, it's going to pop up and it's going to show you one of the vendor numbers to call from. So if I go back to my managed numbers, you'll see additional option: leads, buyers, REsimpli dialer, which I'll go over, vendors. So these will be additional options. So when you're buying a phone number now, this is what the design is going to look like. By default, it will be seller, but you can do buyers. You can do REsimpli dialer. If you do that for dialer only, you will be able to select multiple numbers, because when you're dialing out, you're not really assigning it to campaign. If you want to select like 5 numbers at the same time, you can do that. Or you can add a phone number for your vendors also. This will be more like a general business number that you have. And then your team can call out vendors, and then the call will be recorded in that specific lead. So all the communication that you've had with the lead, with the vendor, buyer, seller will all be in that lead. So yeah, just to keep everything neat and organized.
Awesome.
Yeah, so Claire, you have if a vendor calls into a REsimpli number and then gets created as a lead, is there a way to? Not right now. We are going to be adding that option soon. I know people have asked, ability to move a contact from lead to buyer, same thing, lead to vendor. So that's going to be coming out soon. We just wanted to make sure we went live with this, because it's going to be the same update we'll have to do to the vendors also. So that'll be coming out. But if you're dealing with a vendor, you want to make sure you're using one of the vendor's phone number to communicate, just to keep all the communication separate. So you're not using your lead's phone number to communicate with the buyers or vendors. Justin said, can we upload a vendor list? We don't have it right now, but if you have a list of vendors, just send it over to us and we'll get it uploaded for you. But there are just some couple of small bugs we were running into, so we didn't make it live yet. But if you have a list of vendors that you want us to upload, just let us know and we'll get it uploaded in your account.
And if we're doing like a bunch of agent outreach, is there a way to track deal? Like, I'm not sure if somebody just asked this, but if an agent has multiple deals, is there a way to kind of track the deal with the agent that you're working with?
Yes. So you can go right here in the dashboard. I'll show you the top 5 buyers. Otherwise, you can go in right here, and then you can filter your contacts by agents, and I'll show you like the number of deals that you've done with them. So if I want to do contact type, I want to just look at agent. It'll show me all the agents that I have, and then which ones that I've actually done deals with.
Okay.
But if you come into that, as you start assigning the same buyer or vendor or agent, it's going to keep track of all the deals that you're doing with that specific individual. So all of that will get added to that person's contact details.
Oh, okay. But if you're like, let's say I have an agent that brought me a deal that I'm taking through the closing process, is there a way to track that deal?
Yep. What I would do is like how I can just tell you how we do it. So I have 6 properties under contract right now that we're buying from MLS. So what we did was we added in that case, we added the agent as the seller, because like we don't have actual seller's contact information. So we're adding the agent as the seller, and then we're just keeping a track of the same way. The lead source is MLS in this case, and the seller is the agent.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Cool. And also Isaiah, are the drip campaigns? So that's the drip campaigns for buyers and agents are going to be coming out soon, but the tasks are going to be available now. So Dave has a question: when a vendor calls back, is there a way for them to select who on the team they would like to speak? Yeah, you can definitely do that. So just like you do a call flow for your buyers, your leads, your buyers, and your for leads and buyers, you'll do the same thing for your vendors. So like for my case, what I would do is we will create a call flow where all the calls on that call flow will go to my project manager, because she's the one she's my project manager / office manager. She's handling everything. So all the calls will forward to her. And then, but every call will be recorded within the system so we can go back and keep track of it. But yeah, you can definitely do that. Just like you use your call flow for leads, you would use the call flow exactly for your buyers and vendors. And same thing for the dialer numbers. Penny has a question. Can we have wholesaler with the same number but multiple properties coming from Zap? Yeah, you can do that. It'll just link all of those properties based on the phone number. But yes, they can have multiple properties be submitted with the same phone number. That's not an issue. And Ben has a question. Will we be able to call out to buyers from the REsimpli app using the assigned buyer number? Yes, with the 3.0 update to the app, yes, you will be able to call out the buyers from the app also. So that's going to be part of the iOS and Android update. Dominic has a question. Did y'all add agent as a subcategory of sellers? No, so agents are completely separate. They're basically under buyer. So when you're adding a contact, you'll see a contact type called agent or buyer. I think what I was talking about was, so if I am buying a property from MLS or a lead that an agent brought to me directly, I am adding that seller, the agent as the seller, because in that case, that agent is the seller for us. We are not buying it directly from the actual seller owner of the property. We're buying it through the agent. So what we do is we add that agent as the seller of the property. Corey has a question. Can we mass text potential buyers from, say, PropStream and skip traced and upload them into REsimpli to blast message them if they're interested in our deals and want to be able to add it to buyers? Hey, Corey, do you want to unmute and just ask your question? I want to make sure I am not, missing anything.
Yeah. So basically, I just want to make sure, are we able to, upload a buyers list if we find cash buyers, say in whatever city we're looking at, and skip trace them, throw them up into REsimpli to text blast them, even if we don't have their permission yet, because it's gonna be cold. It's like a cold text message.
Yeah, you can.
On that.
You can do that. We don't recommend that, but like you can totally do that. If you're mass texting them, you will have to buy a toll-free number and get it verified. Just because of 10 DLC. But it takes like 24 hours to get that toll-free number verified. But yeah, you can totally do that. And that's an update that we have going to be coming out. This is going to be available in Pro and Enterprise plan. Is when you're sending bulk emails or bulk text messages out, all of this data in email campaigns and SMS campaigns will now be clickable. So let's say if I send this campaign out, I can see everybody that I send this email to and how many of these got delivered and who actually opened this email. So I can see their names, their email address, how many times they opened it, and when it got delivered, when was the last time they opened it. I can even track, people that have actually clicked on. I highly recommend, if you're sending out an email, make sure you always have some sort of link. What we do is, if we don't really wholesale, but when we do, we just say, hey, if you want to check out the pictures, we just put a link to our REsimpli folder with the pictures, and they just click on it, and then it helps us kind of keep track of, who's clicking on that. So I would highly recommend, if you're not doing that, just do that so they have some place to click. So it just gives you another point of, insight into how motivated this person was. Somebody who's just, receives an email versus somebody who opens and versus somebody who clicks on it is going to be way more motivated. And then you can also see everybody that unsubscribed from that email. You can do the same thing for SMS. If you send out a bulk SMS, so Corey, in your case, let's say if you send out a bulk SMS, you'll see a list of all the people that you sent to, how many of those got, I don't have any data, but how many of those actually just got sent out. So sent is only if the message is going out to, it typically happens with VoIP number. So if you're sending out text message to VoIP number, we don't get delivery confirmation on those. So our carrier only tells us that, hey, we sent it out, but we don't have a delivery confirmation. But it typically happens with VoIP number. And then delivered would be, the ones that we can confirm that these actually got delivered. Those would be, cell phone carriers. And then the ones that did not get delivered for some reason, the carrier might block it out as spam. So if you're going to do a bulk text campaign, what I would do is, rather than doing to the entire list, I would just start with a small, batch of them and then just send it out to them. And then see, you don't want to get your number marked as spam, even though it doesn't affect your 10 DLC because it's a toll-free number, but still, just to kind of keep track of how people are responding to the message.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool.
And I know you said you don't recommend using REsimpli for the bulk text. Who else would you recommend for?
No,
like,
I'm not saying I don't recommend, but I'm just saying you can totally. I mean, we have people doing thousands of bulk text messages. I'm saying
Okay.
I don't recommend like cold texting without getting the opt-in.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, but
Gotcha.
people do it all the time. You're not gonna have when you're texting to your buyers, like you'll typically have very few people that will opt out. But I'm just like sharing with you best practice. You can totally do it. Like a lot of people do that,
Of
but I'm
course.
just sharing. They're just the best practice of if you don't have opt-in, that you could have somebody who could just like be really upset and say, hey, why did you send me a text? But I've never heard it happen with a buyer. So yeah. Cool.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. We'll update it. Oh yeah. So Penny has a question. Will the update on the weekend add a push button from list stacking to leads? Yes, it will. I'll go into that after this. Picture link from our toll free. The link does not send out to buyer. Is that changing? Or did we do something wrong? When you should be able to send out link in your text message. We have a lot of people doing that. They will just take a link to the pictures and just say, hey, check out this new property that we have coming, and just send that link out. Just send an email to support@REsimpli so I can have somebody from our team look. It may have been possible that it got flagged as spam. Like, it's not the best practice to send a link, especially if you haven't had much communication with that person. It's not best practice to send a link, but yeah, send us an email and then we can look at that specific message. But now with this update, you will be able to see, whether it got delivered or not. Current, when I try and import leads from Wholesale that I have the same phone number as up, it doesn't work and gives an error message. Andrea, I'll get that looked into. It should allow with the same phone number. Maybe I'll check with my developer. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I'll check with him and let you know. Brianna has a question for drip campaigns. Will we be able to send outside of current 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. time frame limitation? Not with this update. Again, that's just to be TCPA compliant, and not send automated text messages out, outside of those 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's just the main reason of like not doing it, just to be TCPA compliant with that. John has a question. Do you have recommendation on what to do with leads that have come in from multiple lead sources? John, it's very subjective. Like, I would personally go with the first lead source that they came from. Let's say if it was direct mail that, they called us from, but then they went to our website like 2 months later, then they saw our TV ad. I would do direct mail, but it's very subjective. I've seen some investors do the last lead source that actually converted them, but I personally just go with the first one that actually got them interested in the pipeline.
So no way to do multiple lead sources with the same lead?
No, because then it'll just kind of throw off the KPIs.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, cool guys. So those are the updates that are coming on the lead side of it. And then the other big update that we are coming out is going to be with list stacking and the dialer side of it. So when you go in this, first of all, you notice the design for list stacking is going to look different. You will be able to add house type, bedrooms, bathroom, estimated value, approximate square foot, lot size, and year built on for every single property that you have. And in addition, you'll notice a section for communication and notes, just like you have for leads. So any notes, you can add notes to this property. If you're calling this property from the dialer, the information will automatically get added to this property. And let me go back to, all right. So for example, this property right here, I can click on view to Google. It's going to pull up the property on Google, or I can click on Zillow. It's going to pull up that property on Zillow with all the information. So you can see that. And then if I call this property or, text this, call this property from dialer, again, it'll show up right here. And then you can also go back and forth in list stacking, or just like you can do on the leads if you have anything. And in the additional action option, you'll see these additional option, push to lead. So if it's already a lead, it's going to be grayed out. But if not, then you can push a property to lead. You can skip trace an individual record. You can push an individual record to a dialer, or you can edit it. So if I go back to a property and with a valid address, so So if I go right here, this is also lead. But if I go into a property that's not a lead, it'll just, let me see this one. And I'll be able to click push to lead. It just needs to have a phone number required. So once you do that, let me add a dummy phone number. Okay. Okay. So once I do that, come back here, push to lead. Then it's going to ask you, right? Every lead is going to go into new lead. You can actually also put it on a drip campaign as soon as the lead goes into, sorry, you can select the campaign that it came from. You can also put it on a drip campaign as soon as the property goes to a lead. And you can do the same thing on the dialer also. I'll show that. But let's say if I have this property and, I'm going to put them on, I don't know, like new drip. Then as soon as the property goes into new lead from list stacking, it will immediately be on a drip campaign. And you could be texting. I mean, your system would keep texting, emailing, and then keep reminding you to call them. And then if you want to add additional tags to this property when you're moving it, you can do that. But once you do save lead, it's going to get pushed over to leads for me. And then I can kind of, just both should already be on a drip campaign right here. So it's already on a drip campaign. So I'm going to stop this. So yeah, you can now push a property from list stacking to leads. All right. Sorry. And all right, so those are going to be the update with list stacking. Oh, another update is actually going to be pretty neat. So owners with multiple property owns is more than 2. All right, so now if I do this, let's say if I have properties that are owned by, an owner has multiple properties, so I can go in, click on the property. Now, if they have multiple properties, you'll see that this is highlighted. I can click right here. So it actually shows me a list of all the properties that are owned by that specific owner. And I can see everything that's going on. If I want to opt out all the properties, that the seller calls me and say, hey, do not call me for any property. I don't want to sell you anything. You can just go ahead and do opt out all properties. You can do that. And if a mail comes back as return, and then you want to have it updated for all of them, then you can do that, and tells you it's going to be the same mailing address. So it tells you, whether the mailing address is vacant or not. And so these are all the properties. You can click on any one of them. You can see what name that the owner has this property under. Again, I've just added information only for this. But the company name, if you've done any marketing to them, what is the last status in list stacking that you have for this, and whether any of the property is lead, and what list and tags each of the property is added to, and if you have any phone numbers for this person, this property or not. So I'll show you one thing really quick. Let's say if I go in and I'm going to add a phone number. I'm going to do this. So now if I go into a related property and I go into phone numbers, so it shows me no phone number found for this record. However, there's one phone number found in related property. Do you want to copy over? So you don't have to skip it. You can just click copy, and then you can just select whichever property you have that phone number, and it'll just copy over. So I selected the wrong, right here, sorry. Yeah, so copy over that phone number and it gets added to that property in list stacking. So, and then if you made any calls or, however many times you called it, it's actually going to get updated right here. So you can see the number of attempts you've made to that property. So if I go in and look for one. So 123 Main Street. So there's it's a number that we're using for testing. So I can see I've made 49 attempts to this phone number. So it keeps track of every single time you call the phone number, and then in list stacking, it pulls all the information right here, all the call recording, who pushed it, and like all the updates that were made to the system. So those are the updates that's going to be coming with list stacking. But with the dialer, what you will be able to do is, let's say if I am going to select a list of stack lists with phone numbers, apply. So now I can stack my list or whatever list you have. Go ahead, select these properties, and then select 10 properties. Click on send to dialer. So now you can push it to a dialer and then just start cold calling from within the system. So you can do create new. Sorry, my Zoom is starting to hang a little bit. But let me know if you guys notice it getting a little bit slow. I think my internet connection is just getting a little bit slow. So let's say if I have new campaign for demo, And then I can choose who in my team I want to assign this campaign to. So I'm going to assign it to myself. And then you can choose if you want to still remove any properties from pushing to dialer that are already in a campaign, or properties that are already leads. So you can do that. So this way, if a property is already in a campaign, you don't want to push that again, you can remove that. Or if they're already a lead, then you can remove them. But let's say I go ahead and do that. It's going to push the properties into campaign. This is what your dialer section is going to look like. You can just come right here, and this is what the dialer section is going to look like for you. And let's say if I want to start calling anyone, I can just click right here, click on call, and it's going to ask me. To set up my dialer campaign. So when we go live, we are going to be adding. You will notice that there will be 2 scripts that will be added to your account. These are the ones that I use, so feel free to customize it. But these are the 2 that will be added: making an offer and making setting up or making an appointment or making an offer. And then you can do these variable fields like so you have first name, last name, property street address, property city, property state, property zip code are the variable fields that you can use and pull that data from that record for list stacking and update the script based on that. So there's going to be this one, making an offer and making an appointment. Feel free to customize it however you want, but these are the ones that we use. And then you can also choose the voicemail that you want to drop if somebody doesn't pick up. So I think somebody had a question about if somebody doesn't pick up, instead of having to record a voicemail. With this, you will be able to drop a voicemail. And then you can select which number you want to call from. So you can have multiple numbers. You can create groups of numbers to call from, but I just have added one. And this is really cool. Is if you want to skip a specific phone type, so if you don't want to call any mobile number because you're texting them or you want to skip all the VoIP number, you can just select right here and phone status to exclude. Let's say if you want to just click hey, exclude any DNC, you can do that, and it will only now call people that do not meet that filter criteria. And then you'll notice that this already populated for me. I am looking to speak with Benjamin, so I'll pull the information of the owner from list stacking, fill it here. I'll pull in the property address. Again, this I left as a placeholder, so you guys can go and update it for your own purposes. So you can say, hi, whoever is calling, you can create multiple copies. So this will be, hi, this is Sharad with REsimpli. I'm calling about the property located at 2615 Hart Road. So it's pulling wherever you have that variable field, it's pulling all of that data into the script. And then, again, this is something that I've done based on what my cold caller does. Feel free to customize it. Like these are the questions we ask. But if you have some other shorter script, just feel free to. You can add unlimited number of script, and then you can just start calling it. This is a random number I'm not going to call, but let's say if once I had conversation with this person, everything looks good, I can just click on move to lead, and then I can. It will also pop up in my. I'll show you another screen. Once you call, what it'll look like. So you can say, all right, I want to push this person to, let's say this is my cold calling campaign and I want to push it on a drip campaign. So this would be somebody that said, hey, I'm interested, but maybe reach out to me in like 6 months. So you're moving them to lead, and then you're already putting them on drip campaign. You can set up a drip campaign called, like warm lead drip campaign. So it just like reminds your team to call them in every month. So you're just managing them from lead, or you can just schedule a future call within the system. But then once you move it to lead, you can call them, text them, email them, send them postcards. So you have a few different ways to reach out to them. So once you do that, it's going to push. Oh, I'm going to do this now. So it's going to push over the lead to sorry. Yeah, it's going to push over the lead it's going to take the record from here, push it to a new lead, and then I can just go ahead and so you notice this got updated, and then the phone numbers will also get updated once I have that based on the property status. The phone status, and then this got updated, and then I can just click on next property, load up the next property, update everything that I have for based on that specific owners. And it's keeping track of how long I've had the timer open, and I also keep track of how long I've actually been on call. So I can do this. I can click call. So it's going to start making outbound call from within the system. This is one of our VoIP numbers. So I can call this number. But once I do that, I'll ring for like few seconds. In the meantime, I'll answer some questions. Justin, yes. So it went into voicemail. So it selected whatever the last status that I'd selected for this, it kept ringing. I can add notes right here that lead didn't answer the call. I can leave this, but if I wanted to push something to lead from right here, I can do convert to lead or pop up the same thing. Or if I can say, hit schedule a call for, let's say I'm going to do I'll just leave it for today. Right. And I can do exit dialer. Right. And then I can exit out of here. And if I go back into my campaigns, you'll notice that all the calls that I need to make today when I'm logged in, it's going to pop up right here. So if there are any calls that I need to make today, will pop up right here in today's call. I can just click right here. It'll just open all the calls that I need to make today, and I can just click call and just start dialing from right there. Once I'm done with all the calls, I go back into my campaigns. This will no longer be right here. And then anybody that calls you back or texts you back on from one of your cold calling campaign will start showing up in inbox. So any person that calls you, texts you back from your cold calling will show up in inbox, and based on what they came back with, you can either move it to a lead or just like, remove it from your marketing. Any scheduled callbacks that you have will show up right here, including today's call. And then this will be your entire call log that you have for everybody on your team. And then you can filter based on a few different things. You can filter based on call duration. So if you have any calls that were abandoned, these are some of the important things that you want to keep track of. Abandoned calls and short duration calls are the ones that really get your phone number triggered as spam. So you want to make sure you're kind of keeping an eye on that. We also have that on the stats page, so you can get a sense of all the phone numbers, like how your connectivity is going, how many abandoned calls, how many short duration calls. And this will be updated if you're the team owner, then it'll show you for every single person, but you can go ahead and filter it based for different people that you have, different time period, campaign, and assignee. But if I log in and I'm just one of the cold callers, it'll just show me my stats, but you can look at stats for different people. And then this is really important to keep track of. The lower you can get this number, the better your phone number quality would be. This is abandoned call and short duration calls are like a couple of important things that go into whether your number get marked as spam or not. But you can easily keep track of that by coming into filter and then just having a look at right here on the call duration. And then we have all these options so you can filter based on. And then these additional filter option: call result, assignee, campaign, and time period. Cool. Let me take a couple of questions. So Justin, with the dialer, yes, sorry, I forgot to mention. So if I go back, let me go back to.
That's the DNC question. I got it.
Yes. So if I do this, so there's a couple of things you can do. If you don't want to call anybody that's DNC, then I would just make sure you select DNC. So it'll exclude anybody that's on DNC list that you have. So just skip over that and call everybody else. But let's say, if I do this, it's going to pop up. And then based on the call result, hopefully it goes to voicemail right away. But based on the call result, we're also updating the phone status that we have for every single phone number. So depending on and then as soon as you call somebody, if it goes to voicemail, you'll see this pop up. And then you can, whatever voicemail that you selected while doing this campaign, as soon as, then I can just do this, drop voicemail. It will automatically drop whatever 30-second voicemail that I have or however long voicemail that I have. And then it will automatically select call not connected, left voicemail. Now, based on this, we will update the phone status based on this. So if it's seller unavailable, I forgot what it is, but I'll send it in an email. I'll put it on our Facebook group also. But these pretty much match exactly with the phone status that we have. Like if it's a kept ringing, then we'll add that phone status of kept ringing. And then if you connect with somebody over here, let's say if you select DNC number, then we'll add a phone status of DNC to that specific. So you don't have to go back and update the phone status for that specific phone number. We will automatically do that based on this. If you do DNC contact, we will mark every single phone number as DNC. And then if you do schedule call, it will get marked as correct number. If you move it to lead, of course, we'll mark it as attached with lead. If you do property sold, the property will get opted out of any future marketing that you have. So we're also updating the phone status based on this. Justin, was that your question, or did I just go off a completely different tangent?
Well, I was I was more curious about if they're already on a DNC list. Is there any management for that in here?
If
And then I
they're
had
already on
another
a,
question too,
yeah, if
is
they're already on
about,
DNC, then I would like filter them out. Like when you're
Before.
pushing it to from list stacking to dialer, I would just
Okay.
filter out any properties that you have on DNC. And the cool thing is, so this is a two-way integration between dialer and list stacking. So as you're updating any property in list stacking with DNC status or whatnot, it will update in list stacking real time. So when you're calling, I would always, if you want to make sure you're not calling DNC at any time, I would always make sure that you have that property to exclude DNC selected. So
Okay.
it'll pull based on whatever the latest data it finds in your list stacking.
so from this dialer, can we forward or live transfer to an acquisition manager?
Not with this right now, but we'll soon be adding that into the dialer also, just like we have in the lead.
Great, thanks.
Okay, cool. And it's really to know how many leads to use from a specific list, like a breakdown or percentage. Yeah, so OG is a question, is there a way to know how many leads or deals from a specific list? Yeah, you can go into list stacking and go into these two tabs, list or tags, and it will show you exactly for every single list that you have, how many, once you've cold called, direct mail, SMS, RBM, how many leads did you get, how many offers did you make, how many under contract, and how many deals did you get from that. So you can keep track of that for your entire list and also based on the tags.
Correct. Can you just put like your no contact mates? Can you create a list? Let's say you have all of the people that you haven't been able to touch yet.
Yeah.
Can you create them as a list and then
Yeah, absolutely.
put them in a dialer? You can.
Yeah, so what you can do is you can do lead. So I can do my lead status, for example, and I can pull up everything that I have. So it's pulling my lead statuses from my leads, and I can say, let's say if I want to call all my no contact made, right? I can just select right here, I'll pull up everything, and I can just create a separate campaign for those people and just start calling them. But just keep in mind, it's not calling them from campaign number, it's calling them from your cold calling number, because we want to make sure your leads number are not getting like marked as spam. So, and it's a good idea to just kind of reach them from a different phone number. So yeah, I mean, we would be using this for our dead leads and warm leads just to kind of see if we can warm, especially for our dead leads, to see if you have like thousands of dead leads. So we're going to start using it for dead leads just to see if we can warm up some of our dead leads. I've heard from other investors, they've had really good success just going back to their dead leads, last, like that they pushed into dead lead in the last 6 months to a year. So we're going to start with that and just call our absentee list and other lists that we have.
And this will actually, it's not the same as the dialer that comes with the enterprise account where you click every single time. This will ring until somebody answers.
Correct. Right? So what
Okay.
it will do is, so let's say once you do this, and let's say I'm done with this, so I do call next property. I don't have to do anything. It immediately starts calling the next property that I have. And then I'll just call the next property, or, once you'll just wait for it to, it's a single line dialer. So it's calling like one seller at a time. Once you have a conversation, let's say I do drop voicemail, it pulls up that. And once I'm done, once I'm at the end of the list, you'll see these two are grayed out. That means I have no new property or new number to call. But once you do that, it basically in 2 seconds, will be calling the next property. So majority of what I would imagine would happen is when you're calling someone, you're leaving voicemail. So this will automatically be selected. If you want to leave any notes, you can do that. Otherwise, you just leave this, click call next property, and then just start dialing the next property.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Cody, yes, we will definitely have a multi-line dialer. I don't think we'll have more than 3. We'll have like at most triple line dialer. So we'll add a triple line dialer, but once we make sure we like kind of met all the use cases, and then we'll do that. And does cold calling through list stacking take away minutes from? No, it does not. So basically, what when you're doing adding using dialer, you basically just like how you use a single line dialer, you would go in, you're adding per seat basis. So you'll go into manage user. Whoever you want to give access to, you go into their account. Let's say I want to give access to John Doe. You'll see this additional option of list stacking dialer. You click right here, and then you choose whether you want to give access to them or not. It's $79 per month, but it's unlimited calling. So there's no limit on how many calls or how many minutes they can call out for, just like any single line dialer that you have. Okay. Same question on leads text from cold call line. Does that take away? Yes. So for SMS, because we didn't add, we had added an ability to also text from cold calling, but then we decided to remove it because it was going to make like 10 DLC very complicated because it's related to texting. So we decided not to provide that option because then we would have to get every single phone number registered with 10 DLC to do texting. So you can only call, but if they text you back, then I would move them over as a lead if they're interested and then just manage it from there. Then it'll just take away from your like allotted SMS credits that you have. KB has a question. I had to step away for a second. What is this? Are you saying yes? So with this, you will be able to cold call in REsimpli. How many dials? So it's a single line dialer. So you're doing one dial at a time, but there's no limit to how many dials you can do. For my team, my team member will be responsible. Like we'll make like 350 to 400 calls a day, just based on the market that we're in. We'll just hire one person, have them make 300 calls, 350 to 400 calls a day from the system. How many dials can? Yeah, I mean, it's a single line dialer, so it's similar to any other single line dialer that you have. I've showed it to other people that are actively doing cold calling and kind of showed them what we have built, and we have really cool integration directly with list stacking, some other like really neat features, like when you're making a call, you can, filter properties out immediately based on, what status they're on or what phone type, which is really neat. So you can live take them out of your dialing if anything is DNC, and it's going to update in real time. So yes, this call is being recorded. We'll send a link to the recording out. And Corey, the list stacking dialer is per seed and not, so it's like per person that you give access to. So whoever you give access to, their name is going to show up right here. Let me exit out. So if I go back right here, if I have given access to whoever I've given access to, only their name will pop up right here. So these are the people that I've given access to. If I haven't given access to someone, their name will not show up right here. So yeah, we'll have our cold caller be added, and only that person will be calling, and only their name will show up right here. Yeah, so it is $79 per user and unlimited minutes for every single person. Robert, I said you will not be able to send SMS when you're cold calling. We decided to take that out just because it was going to be it was going to create a 10 DLC nightmare, and then immediately it could end up affecting your other numbers also. So we had built that functionality. We had, originally when we were going to go live with it, we had an ability like this, the campaign, after every phone number, there was actually like an icon to send text message. And then even after you dial someone, there was a screen where you could send a text message, but we decided just, it would not be good for 10 DLC, and those numbers would get marked as spam because you're cold calling people. So we decided not to do that. Cool. All right. Yeah, I mean, any questions on this before I move forward on the last part that I have, the website? Yes, Claire, you are grandfathered into whatever price, whatever plan that you're on, you're grandfathered in for life. So if you're on, let's say, Pro plan, so everything that we're going live with on the Pro plan, those features will automatically be added. And same thing on the enterprise, basic plan is essentially saying the same, except we're just adding websites to the basic plan. Everything else is staying the same on the basic plan. The dialer is $79 a month. And then our new pricing is going to be this right here. Yeah, so this is in my test account, but this is going to be the new pricing, $99, $299, and $749. So anybody that's on Pro, the only thing that's really changing is we're increasing the number of minutes and SMS. Same thing on the enterprise, we're increasing the number of minutes, and then number of phone numbers is going down, but we're significantly increasing the number of minutes and SMS that you have. So it's about, we put it on our Facebook group, this is $270 worth of value. So if this is something that, that you want to utilize for your lead, I would look into upgrading. So any existing users that we have, they can upgrade to enterprise for $649 and get these additional minutes and SMS. But if that's not important to you, then you don't have to do anything. You will still get the features like speed to dial, speed to lead, and the call transfer and other calling features that we have coming up. Cool.
Does the basic plan does not have drip automation right now?
It does not. Correct.
Okay.
It has drip campaigns, but not just drip automation. So that's something different. The drip automation is where if a new lead comes in, it automatically gets put on a drip campaign. But you can put a lead on a drip campaign manually. It just doesn't automatically put that lead on a drip campaign.
Gotcha. And then could you explain the difference between, I guess, just the list stacking and the regular leads?
List stacking would be, think of it like for prospecting purposes. So if you pull up a list of, all the absentee owners that you have in your market, you would push them in list stacking and market them from list stacking, like do direct mail, cold calling, or whatever marketing you're doing. And then once somebody is interested, then think of it as a funnel. You have like top of the funnel, you have all the prospects that you can reach out to. So that's what your list stacking does. I have a video that we did, in-depth video. So if you shoot me an email, send us an email, support@REsimpli, and just say, hey, can you send me more information on list stacking? I'll send you like some detailed videos that we did on that.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. All right. Go ahead.
One last question in regards to the price. I have a basic plan right now, and I was thinking about switching over to the Pro.
Right.
Should I do that before the change, I guess, is in place?
Yeah. So if you're gonna do it, I would do it now. Like this is in my test account, but when we go live with this, like right now, if you log in, you'll see 99, 199, and 499. So if you upgrade now, you will be grandfathered in at that price. But on Saturday, when we go live with this is the pricing that you will see.
Okay.
Okay. Neil does that mean the list stacking dialer is Neil, can you unmute yourself and ask the question? I want to make sure I understand it. So list stacking is included. Yeah. Neil.
So basic plan, is it going from $99 to $178?
No, so basic plan is still 99. The 79 is only if you want to use the dialer. That's an add-on. You don't have to use it. It's totally optional.
Got it. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, so totally optional. Yep. Justin, we don't have that automation yet, where if you move a lead to warm lead, it automatically puts on a drip campaign. We don't have that yet, but we'll have that. I know a lot of people have asked for that. So we'll be adding that in a future update. It's not enough for basic, dude. It does not. So the dialer is an add-on if you want to add it. Just think of it like a Mojo dialer, call tools, or something like that. So if you want to add on, it's just $79 a month. If you want to add on, you add on and choose whoever you want to give access to. If not, then you don't have to use it. Claire, if you go into your account, like right here, and then you click on upgrade option, upgrade plan, you'll see like an option to upgrade. Because you came through a different program. So just send us an email and we'll figure out kind of, how that's set up. So yeah, don't worry about it. Even if it's past Saturday, don't worry about that. Cool. All right. Any other questions you guys have on this before I go into the last part of websites? Oh, all right. All right. So with every single plan that we have, every plan 99, 199, 499, or, even if you sign up 99, 297, or 749, every plan will have a seller website included. This is what it's going to look like. You can add as many websites as you you get one website for free, but you can add additional websites for, I think it's $29 a month or $19 a month for additional website. But you go ahead, click right here, create new website, and you give it a name. Let's say, seller website 1. Site title would be Sell My House Fast. I'm going to do Oakville, where I live, Oakville, Ontario. And you want to leave it default as yes, you want Google to index your website. And then company name, this is the name that you want to put in. That's based on that, the website would get updated. So I'm going to put just for this, Live Demo LLC. and then you want to choose the phone number that you want to show on your website. So based on that, the leads will be created based on that specific campaign. So if you have a separate phone number for website, make sure you select that. I'm going to go ahead and select Google PPC. So you'll have that phone number already populated, and this is the phone number that this is the email address that's going to show up as the contact information. So I'm going to do Sharad at REsimpli, and the address detail for contact information, Ireland, Indiana 46322. And then this is important to make sure, like when your website is created, what's the primary city that you're doing business in? I'm going to do Oakville. State would be Ontario, and then zip code wherever you're buying properties. So 43. Right now we only have one theme. We have a second theme almost ready, which will be coming out like in the next couple of weeks. So once you do that, it's going to go ahead and create a website for you. The internet is really slow right now because of the Zoom stream. Yeah, but this is what it's going to look like. And I'm going to open this. Yeah, so this is what a seller website would look like. It's SEO optimized. This is right off the gate. This is what the website is going to look like. This is the company name that you added. You have your form, and the form is fully integrated with the REsimpli CRM part of it. So whatever questions you've added on your lead intake form, you will be able to manage it. You will be able to choose which questions you want to have. So you go into web form, you'll see an option for website now. So you can choose which questions as step 2 you want to have be visible. So I can do hide all, I can do custom. So I can only have this visible, this visible. Actually, let me do this, and these two visible. So I can do that. And then I can go in and then you can update your website, but I'll just quickly give you a preview of, all right, so this is what the website would look like. This information already pre-populated, the whatever city that and state that you added, it's already updated right here. You can customize all of this, but then it shows you some information about audit vintage, about us, how we work. So step 1, step 2, step 3, and your phone number. We understand your situation. We buy houses fast, the situations, and we've added 4 testimonials right now, just basic testimonials, but you can go ahead and add additional testimonials. And then you have another form of, for somebody to submit their contact information. And you can add multiple cities that everywhere that you're buying properties in, you can go ahead and start adding those cities right here. Super simple to do that. I'll show you kind of what that looks like. But all of this information is pre-populated for you. If you don't want to do anything, you just leave it as this. This is what the About Us page would look like. Whatever company name you entered, it pulls that company name, fills in the information based on whatever your company name is. So whatever information you add, it updates that. This is what it looks like. And then this is what your contact us page would look like. And this is a page for compare. And this is a page for your FAQs. You can update these. So you have these, offer form here. And then this is the testimonial page. You can add text testimonial, picture testimonial, video testimonial. And this is also clickable. So somebody can actually click right here and make a call right here. And then if you click right here, it takes you back to home page. And then you can go ahead and update everything from right here. So if you want to attach a custom URL, let's say you have REsimpli.com, you can just enter a domain right here and it'll pull up these steps on how to link up your website right here. And then your stats page for this specific website, last 7 days, 30 days, and all the good information. Content, if you've ever used a WordPress website, this is built on WordPress. Yes, Penny, we will have blog pages. I think maybe in the template I had it hidden. I don't have it showing right here, but there's a blog page that you can update also. They can go ahead and, if you have some, or pull up like your SEO stats also that you can update based on like whatever keywords that you want to target for. I don't want to get into that, all that technical stuff, but you'll have, whatever keywords that, your main keyword, and you want to update based on, whatever city and state that you're marketing in. But this is what it'll look like out of the gate. SEO title, meta description, kind of what I use in my business right now. But you can update any of this. And then if you want to create additional pages for the cities that you're doing business in, you just go into cities, super easy. So I go into all cities. And then I just click on duplicate. So it's going to duplicate that page for me. And I click on edit. And instead of Oakville, I'm going to change it to, let's say, Chicago. And I change the URL right here. So we'll have all the instructions on this, but just showing you guys really quick. And then if I go down here and I change the state to Illinois, right? So I click on preview and it will automatically create a page for me. And wherever it said Oakville before, so it'll update automatically. So it will create a new page called Sell Your House Fast in Chicago, Illinois. And this is what the page is going to look like. And then everywhere it will automatically update wherever it said Oakville before, it will now say Chicago. So I'll put in those keywords so you can, like, it's SEO optimized. But again, if you guys are trying to rank, I would go in, this is, it's gonna, if you have multiple people in Chicago, it's gonna look exactly the same. So I highly recommend you go in and then, edit the text to make it more SEO optimized, make it more personalized. But I'll pull in the company name, the city name, everything will be fit in right here. And then once you go live with this page, so once I do that publish, I go back to my homepage. So this city will automatically get added. So as you're buying properties in multiple cities, all you have to do is just create that page, just like I showed you. All of those cities will start showing up right here. So I highly recommend, if you're buying properties in multiple cities, start creating separate pages for that and start optimizing SEO for that specific page. Again, we'll go into a lot more detail once you've gone live with this, just to share some best practices on what we are doing and what we've noticed that works and what doesn't work. Cool. Let me see a couple of questions. How many websites can we have? You can have one website is absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything for it. But if you want to have additional websites, yeah, I think it's like, I forgot, $19 or $29 a month for additional website. And Roberto, yes, you can. Roberto has a question. Can I bring over our current sites? Yes, you absolutely can. And Penny, yes, we do have blogs. I didn't, let me go back. Customize. I'm still trying to figure out. I have somebody on my team that does this for me, so I'm still trying to get used to this. But yeah, you will go right here on the menu option header. Menu, and then not footer, header menu, and then you can add an item for post. I think it's called, yeah. So you can just add your pages for blog, and once you do that, it will get updated to your front also, if you want to do that, or you can add it in your footer if you want to have it. So yeah, there are blog pages and there are these two blogs that are already added out of the gate. But if you want to add additional blocks, you can just easily go ahead and go into this section right here. You'll go into pages. You'll go into pages and add, posts, sorry. You go into post and then you'll add your additional blocks that you have. So these two come out of the gate, but you'll go ahead and add additional blocks that you have. Click on add new, and then just go ahead and add the blocks that you have. And however you want to like optimize it, you can do that, add the keywords and stuff. So this is where you see all the like keywords. Again, I'll have an SEO person look at it if you're not technical, and just make sure they optimize each block for a specific keyword, SEO title, and meta description. KB has a question. Can we pick the type of page we want, like a buyer page or something else? Yeah, so we will be coming out with a buyer website. Right now, we're only going live with seller website, but we'll have a separate website for your buyer. So if you are marketing properties, we'll have a separate website for that coming out in Q2. Also, can I edit any of the verbiage that populates if I want to? Yes, the website is fully customizable. So if you go back into any of the pages, you can go ahead and add whatever information you want. So if I go into pages, all the variables like company name, city name, state, zip, that automatically populates based on the blog or the content that you have. But if there's something that you want to change in your homepage, for example, you want to make it more personal. So if you want to, like, instead of having it uppercase, you just want to, do it local, family owned, then you can do that, update it, and then it'll just update throughout the website, and you can custom any of the content that we have. Again, what we are providing is a template that, for most other people, it should be good enough to just kind of use it. And you can use this website for 10 DLC registration also, by the way. So like if I did that, it updated here. So you can update your entire content throughout the system. All right, thank you. I am on your website right now. It seems to be functioning quite well. Really nice setup, honestly. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate it. Like we focused on the design and even the other templates that we have coming up. We were going to go live with 2 templates, but it was just like moving. The only issue that we were running into was when somebody was moving from one template to another. If you already had this website, you were moving to a second template, it was just throwing some things off. So we decided just to go live with one template. But yeah, I'm excited about this. Again, it is fully, SEO optimized website. But again, just like we're just providing a template. So again, I highly recommend you go in, add content if that's something, you want to start ranking for, make sure you do that. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you if you want to use Carrot website, but again, it's built on the exact same platform as Carrot. WordPress website, it's the exact same backend. The cool thing is like you get some additional, automations with our system. So if I go ahead and select this, I put in my name, like I don't have to do any integration. So if I do max properties llc.com. So if I do this, and like when I go to the second step, it's automatically pulling the questions that I have in my lead. So whatever I selected, there's no integration needed. You update in real time, it updates your questions that you want to ask. I can do number of properties. I own 10 units and want to sell. Again, these are questions that you put in and then choose whatever you want to do. How long you want to. I have owned the property for 10 years. You do that, get offers now. It's gonna go ahead and, I mean, again, if you have the feature enabled, so as soon as somebody submits a form on your website, if you have the speed to lead, it will immediately call your cell phone to connect you with the lead. So that's going to be super awesome. But if I go back into my leads right now, that lead got created right here. So I got the call immediately from my speed to lead feature. So this lead got created right here. And yeah, and then it comes from whatever information the seller filled out, question that I selected, it's already populated, and it, whatever campaign name it came from. So yeah, so really super simple to use, fully integrated. Again, it's the exact same platform as some of the other Carrot and other platform WordPress websites. So if you're familiar with that, you'll kind of know it's very similar in terms of like backend what WordPress provides. Cool. Thank you, Penny. That was the kind of reaction I was hoping for. So thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah, Taj has a question. Would love to connect with someone in Zoom who has been using REsimpli for a while. Would like to see how people are using it in their business. This is much different than what I've been using for the last few years. So Taj, I hope in a positive way, but I would definitely put it in our Facebook group and connect with someone. Or, I've seen you come on our Tuesday mastermind call. So that's a great way. If you have questions, I'm always more than happy to answer. But I will say, the next few weeks calls that we have, we are bringing on some expert guests on those calls just to add a little bit more flavor and variety. We're bringing in experts from different, niches. We have people coming in from that are doing creative financing, people that are doing like co-living, like some really cool stuff. So I think it's starting next week call that we have some other next week or the week after. But yeah. Cool. Yeah, that was the last question. Anything else, guys? Yeah, those are all the updates that I had. There's a few other smaller things that I didn't get into, but you guys at least get an idea of everything that we have coming with this update. Is there anything else that I can answer for you guys that I missed on this call? Cool. Buyer side, Paul, we haven't set on the pricing. I will say that I don't want to kind of share what we are working on. I don't have it here, but let me just quickly check our Facebook group to make sure I didn't miss anything there. But I will say that we are working on something super cool, and we kind of just mentioned it right here. If you look at disposition management, includes buyer website. For now, it's gonna be included the way we have it. It is gonna be included in enterprise plan, whether you are on the 749 when we go live or whether you're 499. I've shown it to some people that are doing very heavy disposition, and they are super, super excited about what we are working on. It's not just a buyer website, it's something really, really cool. It really is going to automate the way you do disposition, and like really cool thing. I mean, I don't do disposition, so I reached out to some of our more experienced investors that are doing 10, 15, 20 deals a month. I reached out to them and showed it to them, and they're all very, very excited. They said it's going to eliminate a lot of processes that they have. So if the disposition side of the business is something important, just not having a buyer website, I would definitely look into. For now, we're going to include it in the enterprise plan, but we haven't finalized the pricing, but for sure it will be included in the enterprise plan. New REsimpli user can 2 agents dial simultaneously from the pro account. Yes, absolutely. You can have multiple people be dialing from the pro account at the same time, whether it's list stacking dialer or whether it's your leads follow-up. You can have multiple people be calling at the same time. Andrea, I cannot show on the disposition management. I've only shown it to like a couple of people, and I can tell you like they're all very, very excited. I'm super excited based on just the reaction that I had from them, and I've shown it to some like large companies that are doing like 10, 15, 20, 25 deals a month using our platform, and then like doing a lot of wholesaling. So we'll release some updates as we get a little bit closer to the actual release end of Q2. We've already started work on that, and I'm excited like about that. But these are the additional features that will be coming live with ongoing call listening, whisper to team member, and call. You will be able to barge in on a call. I can show you what that will look like. So it'll look like something like this. When you go into call logs, you will see a separate option for ongoing calls, and you will be able to, you guys can see, okay, you guys should be able to, all right, you guys should be able to see a screen that says call log, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Can somebody give me a thumbs up? Okay, perfect. So this is the update that I was talking about will look like. Basically, you'll have any ongoing call that you have, you will see these 3 additional options. One will be where you can listen in on a call without any person knowing that you're listening in. The other option would be where you can speak to your team member, somebody from your team that's making a call. And the third option will be where you can barge in on a call. So these features will be coming out end of Q2 with some of the other updates that I have right here with the disposition management. So again, for now, those features will be included in every single enterprise plan. We haven't figured out about the basic and pro, but just to kind of give you a little bit more information on what we'll have coming out. Cool. Let me see. And if we upgrade to pro plan today for 189, would we be receiving the new updates that come available 3.0? I wasn't sure if this was asked. So I mean, the updates that we have, they are the ones that you see right here. They're all going live to pro plan, whether you are on the existing pro at 199 or whether you sign up after 299. But let's say if the call transfer is important for you, that's the biggest feature that's in there. And then also some other features that are only in pro and enterprise are this email campaign. If it's important for you to do bulk email or bulk texting, that's pro and enterprise, and also the ability to be able to track who opened it, who clicked on it. And you'll see also this information on every single contact that you have. I didn't go over this, but you'll have this additional option of email stats for every single person that you're sending bulk email to. And then you can track for each person also how many emails you've sent to that person, when was it delivered, how many times they opened it, clicked on it, when was the last time they opened, and if then unsubscribed out. So if this information, call transfer is important to you, then I would definitely upgrade. Now, if you're on the fence, I would upgrade it right now. You can always honestly downgrade to 99 because not much is changing with the $99 plan, but you could upgrade, use it for a month or so and see if it fits your needs. If it does, great. If not, then if you're not using certain features, then you can always downgrade. The price for the basic plan is not changing. It's still 99. If anything, we're just adding additional option of website, additional feature of website. Everything else is the same. So you're getting more value for basic plan. The Pro and Enterprise are getting additional features. So that's why the pricing is going up. Cool. All right. Yeah, I think those are all the questions. Anything else, like just any feedback on what do you guys think of the feature set that I shared? Anything, any feedback? I mean, I know Penny is a fan, but anybody else that has any positive or any constructive feedback that we could take back to a development? Oh, it's a little too late for 3.0 update, but at least for future, we want to make sure that we incorporate that. Let me make sure there's no other questions. I will take this silence as positive feedback. Let me just make sure. I don't see the live call here. See this. Oh, sorry, yeah, I think a limit of 100 people is kind of limited. Some people were not able to join. Cool, awesome. Yeah, all positive feedback. So yes, there will be a replay, Jessica. We'll email it out. It'll take like a couple of hours. So we'll probably email out in the morning with some basic information on pricing because it's going live on Saturday. So we'll email some of that information out. But thank you for all the positive feedback. Yeah, I mean, like the dialer was one thing a lot of people had been asking for, vendors and websites. So our goal is to always be adding value. Like again, having a free website it's going to be huge on every single plan. So you get a lot more value for that. And then also having a single line dialer be built in so you can start doing prospecting also. Andrea, we do have recurring task. That's something we're working on where you can do recurring based on like daily, weekly. We have that in the pipeline. I think it might have been you who asked for it, but yeah, we have that in our works already. Check boxes to remove spam delete. Yes, that's also going to be bulk email functionality is also going to be coming, Penny, where you can do bulk action with leads. That will be coming. Yeah, we have. I promise you, like this is a pretty massive update, and then we are already working on something pretty amazing on the back end that I'm excited about with like the disposition and also really cool things on the acquisition side with really awesome features on the acquisition, like especially related to calling features. And if I can ask you guys for a huge favor, it really would make huge difference to our team. Honestly, it's like I just simply come up with ideas that you guys give us and I communicate it to my team, but it would really mean a lot to our team of developers, who don't get to connect with you all. But if you guys can do us a huge favor, if we've added value to you guys, I'm going to drop a link in the chat. If you guys can please go to this link, and if we've added value to you, if REsimpli has added value to you, if you can please give us a 5-star review by just clicking right here, write a review. It'll take you less than 30 seconds. It would mean a lot to developers. I mean, they get super excited when they look at all the 5-star reviews. I mean, they're the ones who are actually doing all the hard work in the background. So they get excited seeing all the positive reviews. It keeps them motivated, inspired to just make sure they come to work every day with the intention of adding value to you guys. So if you can do that, would be really awesome. I dropped a link in the chat. So if you can do that. Cool. No, I'm glad. I mean, the call ended up lasting a little bit longer than I thought. I told my wife I'll be down at 7, so it's 8 past 7. I don't know how that's gonna go. She's feeding our kids, but she's super patient. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have any other questions, please let me know. We are gonna be sending link to this recording tomorrow morning with some more information on the pricing, just to make sure you guys have all the information. But if there's anything I missed, please send us an email at support@resimpli.com or put it on our Facebook group. I'll make sure I answer that. And then on our, yeah, so we have a lot of people that are going directly to course, which is awesome. It makes their life a lot easier that they can have their team started. So please be patient with us. Give us about a week or so to make sure all the videos are updated. Once we go live, then we'll start creating the videos. I've already started creating some of the videos, but we'll make sure we update everything on this URL. If you haven't been using it, please, make sure you're enrolled into that. It's absolutely free. It breaks down every single feature that we have in detail. So you can have get super familiar with REsimpli, or you can have anybody on your team gets really familiar with REsimpli. We have a lot of team members. What they do is they'll have a lot of people, they'll have the team members go to course.REsimpli, and then if somebody's working on, let's say, list management, they'll have them watch list management training, so they get super familiar with how list stacking works. Somebody's working on leads, they'll have them do this phone system. So really quick way to get very familiar with the system. But we will be updating our videos so by end of next week. So please be a little bit patient with that while there's a lot that needs to be updated, as you can imagine. So just give us a week for us to just go in and update those videos. But if you have any questions, we'll do a couple of more calls next week just to make sure we answer all the questions. And we'll probably do another one tomorrow afternoon for anybody who could not join on in this call, or if they have any follow-up questions. So we'll do another one tomorrow and a couple of more calls next week just to make sure we get you onboarded. Again, this will be going live on Saturday. We'll send an email tomorrow with when the system will not be available. It'll probably be 12 midnight EST to 5 a.m. EST is when it will not be available, but we'll send an email. So when you wake up on Saturday, you log in, just clear the cache on your browser, log in, and then you should see the new system. So thank you so much, OG, Megan, for leaving a review. Jessica, thank you so much for choosing REsimpli. Very excited to have you here. Means a lot to me and everyone on our team. And I'm very excited with what we have coming with 3.0. And then we're always every day, I get excited thinking about what else can I do to add value to your guys' business. And we have a lot that we're working on. So if I can only have my developers just do it fast enough, but no, they have to make sure they take their time to do it properly. But I'm excited. I'm excited for Saturday. If there's anything else I can help you with, please let us know. I'm always here for you to help us with anything. And again, what you starting Tuesday calls, I believe it this Tuesday or the following one, we're going to start bringing in more experts from different backgrounds just to add a little bit more diversity to the Tuesday calls that we do. If you're not joining that, highly recommend. There's a lot. We get about 50 people on the call every week. Lots of great questions, lots of great information being shared there. So thank you, Penny. Thank you, Brittany, and thank you, KB. I appreciate you just staying on the call for a little over 2 hours. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys online. And then if you have any questions, please email us at support@resimpli.com. Thank you.